everybody, welcome back to another episode of More Than the Title. I'm your host as usual, Jared Thomas, Chief Revenue Officer at Outside the Box Digital. And you know I got my brother, my brethren, your favorite CEO. I don't know what's up with his screen. What is going on? Not during the intro.
Another fucking podcast on sabotaged the nigga.
Oh, niggas took his view off.
You can't see me?
Nah, brother, I see the camera in the back.
You can't see me?
Nah, brother, nah, don't do it, brother.
You can't see me.
See, Shandy, you see this, Shandy? Off the rip.
What happened? You can't see me?
All right, now I can see you. Now we rocking.
What's fucked up?
What's good though? You still chewing? What up, baby? We ready to pod or we ready to pod?
The system is down. The other podcast slipped us a Mickey.
Oh no, they got my boy freezing too.
Listen, this is why I got on all black. Death to the other podcast.
See, that's
It's
very
not
extreme.
a podcast.
That's very extreme. Very extreme. Shout out to all the young brothers and sisters doing this.
Oh, we got lights. We got lights. We got lights.
We got a
But it's not another podcast.
No,
Yeah.
sometimes they be called. You know what
They
it is?
call.
We
They
don't get a call all day
All
until
day.
5:31. Yo, what's up?
That's a fact.
Yo, I forgot to tell you it was Tuesday.
That's a fact. They be like, can we talk strategies? Like, you know, get the fuck out of here. You know we live at 5:30, bruh.
Know that.
Gotta
You know,
cut into our streaming time, bruh.
you know that. But you know, with that being said, you know, shout out to, first of all, before we get house clean the item, shout out to y'all, the listeners, the supporters, the followers. Like, yo, we're growing and glowing across every platform. We are now over 1 million views across all platforms. We're at 200,000 on YouTube. In 5 months, y'all. So we grinding and we really appreciate y'all support, man. And you know, as always, we got a great episode for y'all. Shout out to our distribution partners, the Live Podcast Network, the first women-owned, black-owned podcast network. So if you want more content from creators such as More Than the Title, make sure you download the app and make sure you support your favorite creators.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying? With that, so you ready, my geyser? With that,
Let's start the show.
let's make it happen. So I usually we give you the crazy intro. Since I'm gonna just keep it so funky. This lady, first of all, reached out to her on a cold Instagram message. Saw her episode.
Yeah. You slid
On
in
the
the
DM,
DM?
slid in the DM. I was like, yo, I had just been watching your episode, and I'm like, let me just see what happens.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this young lady responded. She's been so responsible. She's been promoting the episode. She's been rocking out. So if you're not familiar with this young lady, she was featured on B.E.T's American Gangster Trap Queen. She's also doing a ton in the community for justice reform, making sure there's opportunities for brothers and sisters who come home who've been incarcerated and make sure they have a second shot at life. She's also has a book, A Year and a Day. Make sure you go cop that, and everywhere you go get your books. Let's give a round welcome for our guest, Queen Miss Ayana Bean, baby. Yeah. Your story's crazy.
First,
Thank
of all,
you.
is it true that you have a company that you created for the people incarcerated with the soap on the rope, like the new soap on the rope?
There ain't no soap on no rope in no jail.
That's what I thought. You created the company with the soap on the rope, so niggas ain't dropping the soap.
Motherfucker to strangle a motherfucker with the soap on the rope.
But that's the mad puzzle, man. Like, wait a minute, where do we go with they soap on the rope?
There's no such thing as no soap on the rope in no jail.
That's what I thought you had the company that was creating the soap on the rope.
I would not. No.
You sure? You sure it's not an idea? You sure?
Listen, let's talk after the show.
We'll put Dove on the rope for a
But
motherfucker.
that don't make no sense.
I'll put Dove right on the rope.
Baby.
You gotta shout out to all the brothers and sisters
It gets
incarcerated.
slippery in here.
I want to get the podcast and the JPay.
That's something we can definitely talk about.
That's something definitely that should be happening actually.
But how, so
they have
if you want to start that, like, what does that look like? What is the entertainment and stuff like that? Like, yeah, we'll go through the entire story. But I'm just curious right off the rip.
Well, so I'm about out 10 years now. I didn't even realize.
Oh, wait, hold on.
To
That get
be
a
honest,
horn.
yeah.
That get a horn. Where did my horns at?
Yeah. This is 10 years. This is the 10th year. It's crazy because it seems like yesterday to me. Like, I don't feel like it's been that long of a time, but it actually this year is 10 years. And so much like today is different. People they got tablets in there now. You could text. They have some places have cell phones, so the communication is much quicker and faster, and you have more access to outside of the world. Just like you said with JPay. So you think about this: people have their tablets, they're ordering movies on there, but they're charging them for like $5 and $10 a movie, and the movie lasts for 24 hours, right? They got to pay to listen to music, pay for phone calls. So that's the most expensive place to be right now. I think that they're paying more being in there than we're paying out here for rent, just on that alone.
I could imagine.
How is it more expensive to live in jail than it is to be free? That's a hell of a statement to start the show.
That was a message.
That's a definite message right there.
It's true. You got to think about that. Like, you go inside, say, if you're doing Fed time, they've already frozen your assets and anything that you have before you go in there. That makes it difficult for you to have funds to be able to fight and get a fair shake, because who's taking the feds to trial, really? Nobody can afford to do that. Young so, before you see,
I ain't got the Young Thug money.
Gunner.
You don't go to trial with the feds. Everybody knows that. But if you when you get into that situation, they already lock everything up for you to have no access to really be able to fight for yourself. So you just really got to accept what they're giving you. Then you get in there, and now you start giving them even more money. You're paying for JPay, you're paying for tablets, you're paying for phones. You're doing all these. People are busting down their accounts every month. Buying food from them, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just be in here getting the free food. You got to make them Funkos and everything. You got to do all of that, because the more food you have, that shows the power, because you can't sit with actual bread in yourself, right? So, this is how we exchange, from the streets to inside. It's an exchange of what makes us feel strongest, richest.
That's it. A lot of fame in that.
She ain't lying, man. I try to tell these young boys real quick, and we're not gonna get too far into this, but I try to tell these young boys about the fact, man, they just fucking stupid. That's just the best way to put it, man. And I tell them, I'm just being real, because what she talk about fighting the feds, like, a lot of people don't know, it ain't the hard shit the feds get you for, the murder. That's not the shit they get you for. That's not the football number shit. The easiest shit for the feds to get you on is their catch-all. It's the conspiracy charge.
Conspiracy.
The feds conspiracy charter, that shit almost entitles breathing. Like, nigga, did you breathe around this person?
Yeah.
Did you breathe around this person at this said time? You're like, well, I took 2 breaths. Oh, then you knew what was going on. And that's all they got to prove. It could be years ago that you had a conversation. As long as they can prove you kind of knew, sort of, it's over for you. So that conspiracy shit is crazy. It's like the NYPD's fucking disorderly conduct charge.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the easiest way to just lock your ass up. You know what I mean?
Monk says y'all stupid. That's on the real.
But it's true. What you're saying is so true. And this is how you end up having a mother, a father, a son, a daughter, all in there at the same time, because your moms knew what you was doing, because you called her on the phone, you said this,
That's a fact.
Anything, so they can take your whole family just because you had to know what was happening.
And that's how they apply pressure too. So they hit you with now, if you don't take this deal, we know your mama didn't buy that house for herself. We know your auntie didn't buy that car. Like you said, with the freezing of the assets, not only are they going to take your assets, but they're going to track everything that they think anybody bought with that kind of money and take everything from everybody. That's why most people fold. It ain't because they scared of what's going to happen to them, but they know what the feds will do to your family, and they won't give a fuck. They'll put everybody out.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
And sis, I'm ready to go into that story too. But also, like, matter of fact, do you want to just get into the shit, sis? What's up? Because
get into it. I mean,
I was listening to Queen's Flip joint.
Yeah,
I was listening.
You see my son on there on Queen's Flip?
I was listening.
So right now, my son is in the feds. Yeah, my son. So we've been fighting his case almost 3 years now, and he's going to be sentenced in April. So this is the first time I even talk about him being in this situation, but I think it's only right, because when you're talking to real people, you want to talk about real things, and you want, your demographic and your foundation of real people to know what's really real, you know. And so, although you may see me here or there or doing X, Y, and Z, I'm still going through what's called life, and I have sons. My son was on Queen's Flip with me. That's my youngest son. I call him baby son. That's Malik, and Malik he got caught up in a federal situation, and we're waiting for sentencing in April. So I've been dealing with that for almost 3 years now. Yeah, so I know exactly what's going on. Even though I ain't been in there in 10 years, I know what's going on today because I'm firsthand with it.
Message.
Ain't gonna lie to you. I got a 15-year-old right now. I talked to him about this. I couldn't imagine not being able to do what you want to do as a parent to save your child. So like what advice? I'm just curious, sis. Like, what advice would you give your son to keep his head up and uplift his spirit?
Every day we just, every day we're mostly alike, me and my youngest son. Each one of my sons has a piece of me that I just see in them. And so one thing I know is that he's always going to have his head up. He's always going to be smiling. You're not going to know if anything's good or if anything's bad because he just smiles through everything, and he's just going to take it on the chin, and he's going to stand on his 10 as well. So, when he's doing whatever he's doing, I'm saying to him, well, you can't do X, Y, and Z because you got a son, you got your own family. Try to put things in place legitly. And it's like, as soon as you start to make those moves, this is when that's when everything starts tumbling down. So that's one of the things that happened. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to make the transition soon enough. And so now we're in this space, but he definitely always says to me, Mom, look, there's no reason for you to ever cry or be sad about if anything ever happens to me, because there's consequences to this. And if they're going to be involved in this, then they have to accept the consequences that comes with it. And he's like, and if that ever happens, just know that I'm going to deal with my consequences. So
message. That's real. You got to stand on what you stand on. Stand on.
So when we're in the visiting room, it's like, we just give love and be happy, crack jokes, smile, laugh, and talk about, the things that need to be put in place so that when he returns home, that it's a successful return for him.
That's what's up. I can't lie. I can't visit anybody in prison. I've done it twice. I would never do it again. So I couldn't imagine doing that for your child.
That's not true. That's not true.
I'm not doing it again, bro.
That's not true.
Is that true?
You know why I'm gonna tell you that's not true? Because you never know what type of situation might get somebody locked up. You understand? You a big family person. God forbid, let's say Pops had to defend the family, right? Pops had to defend the family, and in the meantime, before they clear the charge or whatever, they lock him up. You gonna go see your Pops. You understand what I'm saying? Or something like that. Like, you understand? You remember the system that we're in right now is not for us, it's against us. How many times have you seen people, right? Remember the old guy in the store, the chick came in to buy potato chips with the EBT. He like, nah, you can't buy that with that. She knew you can't fucking buy that with that. She ain't have no money. She go out, get the boyfriend. He come in. This dude is like 70. The dude go behind the counter, beat the dude up. The dude defended himself in his own establishment as a human being in his workplace, end up killing the dude in self-defense. And you think the police actually took the time to fucking investigate? No, the fuck they didn't. They locked his ass up first, and it took pressure from the community and all that to get his ass out, and then for them to drop the charges. But they locked him up first. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. You never know what type of situation might arise when you're not doing anything malicious. You might be protecting yourself and your family, and you have to kind of sit up until you can clear shit up. And you need that support, bro. Trust me. That support goes a long fucking way.
I had a whole army out there that we will not be moved, all that other shit, but I'm not going in that motherfucker.
It's different, man. And let me tell you something, right? Real quick, Ayana, and I support you in that because, we urban kids, so we understand. We ain't fucking stupid. We know the shit that we was doing when we was younger was wrong. Like, we never made no fucking excuses and made no make-believe shit that what we was doing was right. We knew what we were doing was wrong. We just was doing it to try to better our situations. Like you said, he just didn't get a chance to kind of turn the corner before. You understand? It's a gamble, right? You gotta be lucky. You gotta be lucky 100% of the time. That's why I tell the youth, right? This is why y'all so fucking stupid. Y'all don't understand it's a numbers game. As a criminal, anybody doing something illegal, you got to be lucky 100 over 100. The cops only got to get lucky once. So the numbers is in their favor. You got to be lucky every time you do some illegal shit. Every single fucking time. They only got to get lucky once.
Message. Yeah.
And so,
but you're right about that. That's the numbers game. That's the way to look at it because it only takes them one time. They can stay on it.
One time.
So that's a perfect segue, sis, because when I was listening to your Queens Flip interview, You sounded like you had our story. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, we rocking out, we going to school, we partying, being a little, you know what I mean, a little rebellious. We doing our thing, we outside, and then shit gets real. You got a nice job, shit got real. Can you just walk us through like kind of what, and as we go into, you know, what led you into the events to lead you to prison?
Well, you know, just like you said, regular person living life. You know how it goes in our urban neighborhoods. Even though, you know, you try to, you know, I worked, you know, I was a person who worked. I was not like, you know, out there like that, but you know, I went to work. I was working. One time I was working 2 jobs and going to school. I had 2 young sons, right? And what do? You know what I mean? What do? You do the right thing. You try to do the right thing. You continue to do what you know is best. But I didn't realize how much of a hole that I was really in. You know, I was in a hole. Like I was being swallowed up by something that wasn't even for me to be swallowed up in. You know what I mean? But coming from a family who, no matter what happens to, you know, no matter what so-and-so does, anybody does, you know, you love them unconditionally. And that's just how I viewed life. And so
hold on, Ayana. I love you to death. But
Hey yo.
I let it start, but I let the first one go. I let it go. You know, let the first one go.
All right.
When you said it the second time, the tone was.
You know, you my sis. When you say that's what the system swallowed me up, nigga like, oh, nigga just fell out.
Listen here now.
You my sis. Yeah, that's a fact. That's real. They were thinking that at home. Those are my people.
This is, be honest. This is what I try not to do. Because I think that what has been a cloud over my story is the fact that, you know, I was in a relationship in which my partner was substance abuse, right? Yeah. So I don't like to zoom to that all the time. And the reason why is because at the time I did Trap Queens, I didn't know what I'm going on here to do. Like, there was no script, nothing like that. You just get in there, 5 minutes, you meet these people in 2 seconds, and boom, tell us this. And it's like, whoa, where did you learn that from? You know what I mean? It's kind of like it was. So I want to always say that my intention was never to put anyone else in a certain light. And I never really wanted to do that. So when I talk about it, I want to say from my end of what I experienced without overcasting another person. So on my end, I was in a situation where there was substance abuse in the home, right? And so that was my partner, my family, and I felt that I had a responsibility to that addiction as well. I had a responsibility to that addiction and to protect and cover my children from it as well, right? And then find some kind of way to still get up every day and go to work like everything is good. That's what it was. And so if anybody has dealt with a family member or friends that, or, you know, you've been out and you've seen you happen in other families and out on the street, like, substance abuse is a monster. It's a monster. Right? And I didn't understand how much of a monster that it was. Now, I grew up in my family, you know, my family come from the 70s, they smoked weed and, you know, they did all of that, you know, but this was something else. It was something else. And I didn't know how deep the situation was. I really didn't know much about it. All I knew is that, okay, your family's doing bad, you help them out. And that's what I was doing. But when I say that I was falling in a hole, is because I was trying to put an armor on my back to fight a situation that I didn't have the tools to fight. You know, I didn't have the tools to fight that. And so it depressed me, right? It depressed me. And so when you think about that, I'm depressed, I'm smiling, trying to make everyone else look and seem normal as possible. You know what I mean? Yeah. But the math wasn't mathing. Math wasn't mathing. And honestly, to be very honest, because I know a lot of people deal with this and it's hard to talk about, right? Yeah. A lot of people carry something like that. They're not here today to talk about it because it'll kill you. It'll make you want to kill yourself. And I faced that many times myself just as well. So that's why I try to take away from the substance abuse and tell you my side. That's because real. There's a whole different side. Like there's plenty of family members or friends who deal with a person who has had that situation. And we never really talk about how it affects us. You know, you're trying to pay for it. You're trying to pay for it. You're trying to pacify the person, make them happy. You don't want to see them get sick. You don't want to see them out here messed up. But while you're doing that, you know, you got to pay rent. You got to keep lights on. You got to have food. Your kids got to make sure that they're not going to school getting teased, picked on, or looking like there's some craziness going on in your home. So that was a lot for one person to juggle while falling themselves.
That was cool. But seeing somebody spiral that you love and trying to get them help, and if anybody who knows with substance abuse, you have family members, right? I had an uncle that died from alcoholism, same birthdays, he loved him to death. You know what I'm trying to say? And he would just tell me straight up and down, like, "Yo, I'm gonna live and I'm gonna die the same way I live. I'm gonna be me." Right. And, you know, and it breaks your fucking heart. You know what I'm trying to say? So you can't help somebody that don't want to be helped. You know what I'm saying? And especially with you holding the family down. So I could imagine, as you're saying that, I'm hearing I could hear the pressure that you was in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Excuse. That's not an excuse.
No, it's real.
Yeah, it's just, I'm just, you know, I'm not this again. Everything that I'm an honest person most of the time. So,
yes, I didn't hit you with the button, but the message would do it.
Let me tell you something. You know,
I always, no matter what it is, if someone asks me a question, I'm gonna answer as honestly as it is. It's real. There's no shortcut in that. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was for me. And to this day, I can still feel that. You know, I still feel that because the after effects are, like I just told you, I have a son in federal prison right now. You know, when I myself was starting my prison sentence, this son of mine was just graduating high school, moving into his first year of college, right? But then my case started, accounts was frozen, everything, meaning I couldn't even finish doing what I needed to do for him to get into school. So then I go away to prison. So he's got a mom gone to prison in the feds, and he's got a dad on the street facing substance abuse. So, you know, there's a whole nother story right there for just his life of, you know, what they had to go through as kids. Like, you know, they were displaced. And either this is what was going to happen. Either the streets were going to win or what else, right? So again, none of these things are excuses on why we make bad decisions. I'm just pointing out there's a lot of contributing factors to a person when they're making decisions. And so my decisions were based off of a lot of contributing factors. And I was using an escape route from it all. Like I didn't think about any consequences. I didn't think about this is right or this is wrong. I talked to myself only. This is a foolproof plan.
Yeah,
I can do this and I can do that because I know how to fix this in the system here. I'm gonna take this check here, boom, I'm gonna put it in there, and then I'm gonna pay it back. Like, yeah, for real, I'm gonna pay it back.
Yeah.
How? You know what I mean? But
it shit sound good now, sis. I go, you got me, Mom. Send me. I'll take a risk.
That's exactly how I talked about it. Because
that's real.
Who talks themselves out of doing something that's crazy that they really feel they know what they're doing? Nobody.
Yeah. But I don't want to do that because here's the thing. And we're gonna be honest. Let's be all the way honest.
Absolutely.
The reason that a lot of us do the things that we do is because the system is designed to put us in a position where we feel like we have no choice. Let's just be perfectly fucking clear. You understand what I'm saying? The system is designed to stick a bunch of us in one general area, low income, poverty. That's what the projects were. Remember how the projects were created, right? As a project, right? As a test. Let's see how, almost like animals, how are people going to react with no food, no money, you know, no water, no income? How are they going to react? So, you know, society's not fucking dumb, and they continue to keep us down, and they continue to keep us in these situations because they want us to make those mistakes. Because the moment we make a mistake, they can close a bunch of doors on us and say, oh, you made this mistake, now you can't do this, and now you can't be that, and now you can't do this. And now it frees up for them and their families to be able to do it. Let's be absolutely clear on that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely clear.
So when we talk about substance abuse, yes, there might be drugs and there might be alcoholism, but let's talk about the substance of just economic depravity and just growing up, like Mass, we talked about, like, how do you explain to a fish water? How do you explain water to a fish, right? How do you explain economic depravity and poverty to a child that's just growing up, seeing and understanding a certain thing? Like, cut it out already. Like, what do you expect? Not saying that, again, we can't turn the corner. Not saying that every child is going to be there. There might be the one or two that get out, but for the most part, the masses, because it's all a mass experiment, the masses are not going to be able to break free from it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think we need to give ourselves a little bit more fucking credit, because it's not like a lot of us are coming from like silver spoon shit, trust fund shit, and we're just fucking up because we're stupid. No, a lot of us are coming from the same poverty, the same fucking rat infested buildings, piss infested, welfare, that type of situation, and we're all looking for a way to survive.
And we're busting our ass to be in that situation, and everybody gets fucking tired. Everybody has a break.
I get tired, bro. That's a fact.
Right.
And let me ask you something, Mass. Let's keep it real, right? Whether you alone or whether you for your family, right? At what point when you hungry enough, or you gonna be like, fuck that, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to eat. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Motherfucker, I'll growl if I gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, if my kids, we eat it. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact, though.
So guess what, right? So you could put yourself in a position to feed your family the same way, like Ayana's talking about it, the same way somebody else could say, nigga, I did what I had to do because my family needed to eat, and that's it.
Right.
But that's a good question, sis. Can I ask you a real ass question?
Yeah.
Was it based on financial hardship, or was it based on like, yo, I just know I'm bigger and better. Like, this situation isn't me. I want to ball. I want to live a life that I know I deserve. Was it either or? Like, what came to
it?
That
Was
decision?
all of it. It was every single last aspect of that, because I was working at a college, like, I was trying to figure out my way. I'm young, I'm a young lady trying to figure out my way. I know there's more to life. I went to, I lived in Boston, but I went to school in the suburbs. I was in a METCO program. So I knew a better way. I just didn't know I didn't have the knowledge or anyone that I could speak to do another way. I knew from my mom, you go to work and you get what you need by going to work, but you barely getting by going to work. She was a single mom with 3 girls, right? So I did know more than she did, because I had opportunity to have a better education than that. So it's not like I'm dumb or anything, right? But then you develop this, okay, well, it's good over here, but this is where I really live. I stopped even wanting to go out there because this is crazy. Like, I'm going out here, everybody's wearing Benetton and Guess, and I'm over, you know what I mean? Like, I don't talk like them. We don't look the same. We don't know the same things. And when I go home to the hood, that's where I live. So before I graduated high school, like, I stopped going to school out there, because that was just, you gain split personality, like this code switching thing. Yeah. And then you are stuck in this place, and it's like, but I know of a place that's better. How do I get there? I started, I'm very intelligent. I learned a lot of things. I got into the music industry. I started learning that business. And so that was my escape route, actually, learning that business. And then being at Emerson College was an opportunity to get involved in it, to really get involved in it. Yeah. And so I did that. I made connections. I had that already. And so that was my escape from the reality of home and what was going on in there. And now I felt like I know I'm somebody. I got this. If I could just get to where I need to be, and if I need this bread to fly there, I need to bring everybody with me. I put myself in position. Yeah. Based off of what I was doing that was wrong. I put myself in position. And that was my escape route from my reality. Message. And I was making a name for myself. A good name, and but you can't the two don't coexist. They don't coexist. You can't do.
I disagree. It does.
It doesn't
exist for us. It don't exist for us. They do that shit every day.
Yes, it's about how. It's about how.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's about how. You can't steal. Have a paper trail of stealing, right?
After a message.
Yeah, you can't do that and then be like, oh yeah, this is how you do it. No, the way they do it is legally stealing, right? We don't do it the same. So we don't have the opportunity, we don't have the access to do it the same. So I did it the way that I did it. They do it the way they do it.
I still disagree because they fucking illegally steal too. They get locked up too. It's just a lot of times they don't get caught because, or if they get caught, they don't do no time enough because they just got friends that help that shit go away.
That's what I'm saying. The access that they have, we don't have that. So if I had the access matched with that wouldn't have never happened. That would have been like, okay, we just scoot this here and just keep this moving, right? But again, you can't have it that way without the whole. You got to have the whole setup. You got to have the whole setup. If you don't have the whole setup, you're definitely not going to win. And we, like you said, that I agree with you. We don't ever have the whole setup. We always have the Kool-Aid, no sugar, the milk, no cereal. There's something missing.
Message.
Oh, she's spit now. She potted now.
Potted. You gotta
go do it. Ayana, this is a 2-hour pod, Ayana.
No, you're gonna fit it into an hour. She's like, I'm gonna give him what I can give him. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
I'm definitely. If I miss the other thing, I'm just gonna miss it.
No, we rock with you, sis.
You know what we and we don't jump into questions, right? And you know that this is not clickbait. You talk about whatever you feel comfortable talking about, because we're not going for shock value. What we want to do, plain and simple, is to make people realize that guess what? We're human beings and we make fucking mistakes, right? But understand, just because you made a fucking mistake doesn't mean that you can't turn your life around and still be successful at it, right? But once you're successful at it, I feel like the mistakes that we made, we owe it back to the youth to come back and be like, yo, I made that mistake. Don't do that shit.
Don't go through door number 2.
Right.
You understand? Right. You know, just, let me help you out, shorty, because I see where you're going and I can help you get there in 2 steps instead of 10. You know what I mean? So, be proud of that, because a lot of our culture, our predominant, heads of state at this point got a phenomenal struggle story. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Fuckers ain't all clean, right? Okay.
Not at all.
Right. So you know what I'm saying? I just think that we need to stop the fairy tale shit. Let's keep it. It's a numbers game, people. Like, yes, some people make it out, but the majority do not. That's the answer. Some people will make it out, but the majority, unfortunately, will not.
And that's the truth.
Game. Yeah,
that's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the absolute truth. Not everybody, and it's not set up for everybody to win. It's not.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Remember, jails is privatized, right? Again, we talk about
institutions.
We talking about that circle, right?
Yeah.
Remember what the chain gang used to be down south. Remember what it used to be. People used to get wrongly convicted just to go work in the chain gang is free labor.
Free labor.
Slavery ain't no fucking difference. You know how much money they make off of privatized jails? You could fucking buy stocks on the stock market with that. Hayes, look it up right now, because I know you're watching, man. Find me some stock in Sing Sing.
It's a big business.
Fish kill. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's fish kill stock going for right now, Hayes? You know what I'm saying? Like,
ain't on $1.
It's a business. Everything is a business. If people can't make money, if people can make money off of it, they're gonna buy into that and they're gonna invest into that business. They don't care what it is. They, because money becomes the ultimate goal for everybody. And like nowadays, I think about, wow, but I really can't believe it's been 10 years. That's crazy. I just really realized that. But I remember,
I'm going toward. Come on, every time I hear that shit, you get a horn.
Yeah, and I want to say congratulations to you. I want to say congratulations to you, because the number one thing they say about recidivism. You understand what I'm saying about getting out, and they be like, "Yeah, we see you back soon. You ain't gonna change." You know what I mean? So it's been 10 years. I want to personally give you a clap and say, congratulations, Queens, for getting out and staying out for a decade. Yeah. It's not an easy task, and for anybody that's never been in there or been in trouble or been in cuffs, period, you don't know what it's like. You don't.
You should want to know. It's not cool.
I do want to know, because we're going to scare straight them. But before we do,
we got to pay some bills. We'll be right back.
Hold on.
Just in case, you got your More Than a Title merch. You get your shirts, your beanies, your caps. I might be on your ass next week if you don't buy a cup. I'm trying to run a business here.
I got my cup. Listen, hold on, but what else gonna keep your tea hot for 2 hours, or your yak cold with 1 cube of ice? Other than one of these right here, you know what I'm talking about?
Not a motherfucker.
Right? There we go.
Just in case you're thinking like, damn, I wish I could get that cup. Here go again. Just in case. 5, 4, 3, 2, and you already know what time it is.
Let's start the show.
the business, y'all. My fault. But sis,
Yeah,
let's get into
I enjoy when you do that. That actually like tickles me.
Yo, y'all sponsor. Y'all don't give a fuck. We do one of the best ads. I don't give a fuck. So Nike, all y'all brands, y'all holler at us, man. You know what I mean? You ain't getting a discount, but we'll do this shit much better when you pay us.
Let me ask you a question, Queen.
Yes.
I want to ask you a personal question, if I may, because it directly relates to me, and I just want to know, did you experience this yourself? So when I was growing up, my family was heavily into the streets, and my mother had one rule for me. Her rule was, you want to know something, you want to learn something, you come learn it from me. Don't be in the fucking streets learning it from these fucking knuckleheads. Anything you want to learn, because they was doing it anyway, she said, you come learn it from me. I teach it to you the right way. And she did. And listen, our relationship, for better or worse, was like, goddamn, like my mother taught me some shit. She taught me how to truly survive, hustle. But how did you feel? Did your sons ever come to you and kind of like question you about it, or kind of embrace that kind of life and say, hey, if I am gonna do it, you know, can you kind of give me some pointers? Was that ever
That's a real question. That's real shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna be very honest. Yeah. When they never came to me to ask me anything, they're very sneaky, right? Okay. Very sneaky. But I know them, right? So I knew that I had to keep on my youngest son. I knew I had to keep 4 eyeballs on him, because this was around the time when, you know, everybody now they're selling sneakers. So it'll be like, yo, mom, can I stay home today because this new release is coming out? I'm gonna go to the Nike store. It's 5 of us gonna go. We want to camp out. And you know, he started doing that thing. And then I didn't, you know, this was a new thing that kids are doing. So I really didn't know too much about it. But I was like, all right, you can camp out there. I drove him and his friends down there. He's calling me like, yo, mom, look how much money I made. We was the first 5 in line. So we sold our spots in line for 150. So that means I was able to get 4 pairs. I'm thinking, what? You know, like, how did you, you know? So I knew that if you don't own a sneaker store, it's going to be something else, right?
Oh, I thought you hit me with the message. The word.
One of the things that set it off with me. And you know, he was already like doing the saving the money, and you know, he already was doing that, but applying it to a different business, right? So, and that was when he was in middle school. So just as he, you know, got old, and he's a basketball kid. My kids was in sports, you know, I had them in everything so that they would be busy, never in the streets. Football, basketball, karate. We did karate class together, everything, you know? So it was like, I felt like I had a handle on that. And if anything they needed to ask me or wanted to know, that there's never feel like they can't ask mom or say it to mom, but everyone's gonna feel how they feel, but they sneaky. You know, they sneaky. Real. Yeah. You know,
that's real. I was gonna ask you too. So I love that question. I ain't gonna hold you, bro, like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's real. Because I have conversation. I do what you did, what your mom did to you is what I do with you. Already know what I do with Jameer. Yo, if you're gonna do anything in the street, yo, you let me know what's going on, whatever. If you're gonna smoke, you ain't smoking, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't smoke behind nobody. You don't do none of that shit. You holler at me, whatever that other shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm curious for you too. Like, when you started it, right? When you started getting it, like, what was the moment? How long did you do what you were doing that got you locked up? How long? And if you could explain what you were doing to the people who are not familiar with the series.
All right. So I went to prison twice. So the first time, how the plan worked was that I was in position as a student. I was a director of student accounts. And so in that position, checks would come in from the banks to my office, and I would be responsible for making sure they were appropriated the right way, and that it was entered into the system right, and that it went off to the proper accounts, right? Ooh, I'm back.
You ain't from with a bag. The other podcast trying to fuck up.
Other podcast, you see what the other podcast be doing? See?
Drop the whole podcast.
Oh, fucking up your equipment and all that. That's crazy, man.
You all are bad.
You other podcast, you gotta stop that shit, man.
Y'all are bad.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing is, instead of appropriating it where they were supposed to go, I just took the checks and deposited them into my own personal account. And so you see how smart that was? Like your own personal account. Like why you didn't put it somewhere else? But that's because I didn't want anyone to know what I was doing. So I couldn't, get people because that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So when the first one worked, it was probably like $900 and something, maybe something like that. And I put it in there. The next day it was clear. And I was like, okay. I went, I pulled the money out. And from there, it just was, okay, I'm going to put this back. Right?
I'm put it right back in the cookie jar.
Never. It never happened. I never had a plan on how to put it back or how I would fix it. I just knew that once that one time worked, that it was just off and running from there.
Shit.
And that lasted for about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years.
How frequently would you take it? Would you do one like once a week, twice a week? Like what was the frequency?
It started off like that one time, then I didn't do it again for like maybe over a month.
Yeah,
then
hot.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real.
It was like, wow, okay, well, let me try that again. So the numbers were higher and higher every time. So it was probably about one time I had like about 50K sitting in my account with, a couple of, about maybe 10, 15 at home, and I couldn't even tell you how many it was actually. Wait a minute. I think when we were in court, they were saying it was like over 280 checks or something like that. So, I mean, if you think maybe a couple a month, see how long it lasts and stretched out. But
can I keep it real with you again, sis?
Yeah.
Let me keep it all the way funky with you. I was listening to your story earlier, and then I was like, God damn, you did it was like that many checks. You know what the part of the story that killed me? You started a label, sis. I'm like, was you spitting? Was you rapping? What the fuck happened with that? You supposed to be in Mexico with Stoney from Set It Off, and you used to be chilling somewhere.
This is what I'm telling you. When this stuff is happening, you don't think, right? You're not thinking for real. Like, I'm not thinking for real. Like, if I was really had a real big money scheme and I was nothing around me going on, and I was really like, okay, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z, I'm gonna do it like this and put the nuts and bolts. I wasn't thinking like that. I was just thinking today, go do this, come back. I wasn't thinking about getting away with nothing, because in my head, ain't nothing was happening wrong. You know what I mean? So that was my mental at the time, honestly. But I didn't. So the thing is, I don't know why they said label. I didn't start a label, right? Okay. I started I started learning the business, and I didn't know what in the business I wanted to do. So I learned the whole piece. And I started managing artists that had independent labels. So I didn't ever have my own record label. And then I did like my own music conference, and I did that here. Like you'll see Jimmy Henchman was my keynote speaker. I had like DJs, Clinton Sparks. I used to go out to core DJs. I remember core DJs. I used to go out there. We'd go to TJ's DJs. I mean, this is back when Gucci Mane Icy first came out. I mean, I was there when the record broke. Like, I put myself in the mix of where I wanted to be so I could be successful. That's what I did.
I saw the pictures with Mano, everybody. I was like, yeah. No, because when I heard start a label, I'm like, first of all, damn, she started a label. And second of all, why the fuck you ain't signed me? I'd have got her. Why the fuck you ain't have bars? You know what I'm saying?
No, I didn't start a label. I was managing. I really, I always wanted to be or consider myself to be a teacher kind of person, right? So I was learning the business so that I could teach people that I knew that had started labels around the town. I wanted to teach them how to run their music business. And that's what I was really interested in doing. Like the label part, I didn't want to do, but I could walk somebody into a label to, get them a deal or whatever. I mean, I was making a name for myself. I did.
And do you still maintain those relationships, sis?
I have a lot of those relationships because they're like, they turn into your mentors and your friends, And I mean, I have a lot, and most of them never knew that anything happened to me. They didn't know nothing about the story until I actually called them to tell them about to be on it. They didn't know.
That's crazy. Know. That's right. So then take us through it. Your chat, you freezing a lot, bro. That's the only reason I'm asking a question. I don't know if you're asking a question now. I'm used to your timing.
Hold on, my fault, baby. You said I'm freezing?
Yeah, bro. You hit me with the Chinese lip. You like this, and then you going that, like you do like this. You stuck. I don't know, bro. It's fucking me up.
I don't know, man. Maybe I gotta. The other podcast, man, they put the woo Jews on me. I don't know what the fuck is going on, man. Like,
I don't know what the woo Jews, but let's give it a whoa. But,
crazy. This is dope. This is one of the best interviews ever.
Thank you, Sid. No, we didn't even get into shits. We didn't even get to the shit yet. I mean, my dude say just kick it.
Hold on. So you let it go past that. Sis, I need to hear that again because he know we gonna clip that up. I need loud and clear for the people out here. More Than the Title world. Ayana Bean is about to speak.
More Than a Title is one of the best podcasts I've been on, honestly, because I'm going to tell you what I don't like about podcasts, right?
Right.
They don't know how to or what questions to ask. And sometimes it's like, okay, I don't know how you want me to answer either. Like you got to feel people out. It takes me some time to warm up to people sometimes, but some people want you to be, I don't drink like that. You know what I mean? I do mimosas every now and then with my friends when we go out, but I'm not like that. So when I go to a studio and they're like, what you want to drink? I just be like, I don't want to be on camera doing that in the first place. Right. Second, it's like, I'm just it's just me. So I like to, and I don't feel offended by anything anyone has to say. So it's kind of like, just have a cool, be who you are and do what you do. You know what I mean? So I love when I feel like everything's real. And this is one of, so I appreciate it.
Come on, since you're at home, because the main reason we created this is for real, a safe space for the truth. That's what Kat said to Shay, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna create this because nobody, first of all, from my neighborhood, I know I told the story before, but I said this on stage last week, right? Yeah. Like I live in the Bronx, right? So I'm in Parkchester, 8 floors, 7 fucking apartments in each one, right? I used to walk home when I used to work at Starbucks, I used to trap and all. I used to look at all the lights on the fucking building. I used to be like, yo, damn, what are the stories of the people that live here?
Yeah.
That live with me, right? Who the fuck, how they're short? I know brothers that got killed didn't even get on the news.
Right.
Yeah.
How the fuck the story's not like, I knew this brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my guy. How the fuck his story's not being told, but we're talking about some lady winning the lottery in New Hampshire. Who gives a shit?
Right. Everybody always wins the lottery in New Hampshire.
I'm moving out this, sis. As soon as we get this money. Wait, hold up. Matter of fact, with that being said, sis,
we got to pay some bills. We'll be right back.
we gotta pay some bills. Please, y'all, if y'all want to get us to New Hampshire, just scan real quick. If you're on desktop, you can take out your phone and you can just pull it sideways. It's gonna take you right to the shirts. We got all your sizes in 2, 3, 1. We got all your sizes, flavors, all that shit. Shit is crazy. We're gonna make a special shirt. We got you or something.
I'll wear it. I will.
We got you, sis. And so what was this? So you did that you said for like 2 years, right?
About 2 years, yeah. So that was my first case. So 2 years, like they say $250,000, and I left though. I left before, like it's not like they came there. What happened is I felt like I was never gonna stop. I told my sister, like, yo, if I don't leave this place, I'm gonna be doing this. Something's gonna happen. I gotta leave here. So I went and I resigned from there, and I went to Berkeley College of Music. Okay. But a position where I wouldn't have access to, like I was doing my own rehab, right?
Yep.
I was going to go to a place that I didn't have, that wasn't part of the position. So when I went over to Berkeley, I was there for maybe like shy of 6 months. And then they came, there was some people that came in, they were talking to different people in their offices, these 2 guys. And I was like, oh, it's auditing time. I'm in my office, I got all my stuff together. It's auditing time. And by the time they came to my office, I had everything ready. It was cool, right? Why didn't want to talk to me out the office? So I was thinking, and then I had, because I got the bigger position, we can't talk in here with the little people. We got to go somewhere else.
That was real. I'm living outside. I got this bread.
This is big business in my office, so we got to go outside.
Yeah.
So when we got in the room and, we got into the conference room, we were talking, and they were asking me about the position, what I like my day to day. I'm like, all right, I'm giving them my day to day. And then the dude turns around, he goes, so is that what you were doing at Emerson? And I was like, oh, so.
That's when that happens. At the exact moment, you're like, oh.
Yeah, I just froze. I froze.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm like, okay, am I under arrest?
Facts.
And he's like, not yet. Should you be?
Not yet.
And I was like, I said, I don't want to say anything else until, I have representation, is what I said. Yeah. And so they was like, okay, we're gonna, they told me they was gonna cuff me up. We was gonna go out of the building. He's like, I'm not gonna embarrass you or whatever. We're gonna stand. One of us is gonna stand on each side of you. I'm gonna put my jacket over you so no one can see that. Right? I was, they didn't do that for me.
That's bullshit. You wasn't.
They didn't do that for me. They did that for the institution, not for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't do that for me, right? But it was like spring break, so there weren't students around or whatever. But there was, staff and faculty. So, but again, I appreciated that. Like I said, I don't have a story of being mistreated in the process at all, neither time, right? So that's one thing I don't have. I was, I actually got a slap on the wrist both times because it could have, what I was facing was way more than I did, but they didn't handle me like that. So I have, I don't have that, over processed story or anything. I was treated with respect. I was treated with dignity. I was given a chance. And, that's really, really what happened to me. That's really exactly what happened. So
I love the realness, sis. Your realness is, I ain't gonna lie to you. You keep me that shit, yo.
I did. I'm telling you, I did. And I just remember when I was at the plate, when they took me in there and I was, I was in the cell and he let me call my sister. He was like, the officer was like, that was real stupid for you to do. Like, okay, I know that was stupid, but that's probably the most raunchy it got for me. Like him saying that was real stupid, Right. And it was. But he wasn't wrong.
I mean, she part of your journey.
I ain't gonna lie. She hit us with the paid in full. Like I can leave the streets. But they still love me now.
What they love me?
They love me now.
Hustling motherfucker.
They gonna never stop this shit. Yo, all you needed to do,
knew I wasn't gonna stop.
Do is say Lamborghini a couple times, and you be like Mike Barron. You know what I'm saying? Like he never stopped. Lamborghinis for you, Lamborghinis for you. I bought the most cars in San Diego in 18 months. Shout out to my man Mike Barron.
Shout out, bro.
I didn't even have luxury cars.
So what's the most baller thing that you did with the bread? Like, if you don't mind telling us, we're having a real conversation.
I just bought a house. Like besides taking trips and going to all the, going to those events was expensive. You got to registration costs a couple of $100. And I was bringing a lot of people with me and I was paying for people to go and, airline tickets, hotels. I was doing all that stuff. Right. But, every day, like I wasn't the Louis bag, Gucci bag, big Benz car or none of that type of person. So, I didn't want nobody to know what I was doing. I didn't want to look crazy. Right. But I did buy a house. It was a regular, normal house that you would buy if you had bread or no bread. It wasn't nothing to write about, but it was big for me.
Absolutely.
It was big for me and for my family. So, I did those type of things, but nothing crazy.
I'm a chime in. I'm a chime in on this, right?
You're frozen again, bro. You like a fucking BBQ's drink. Pina colada.
This the
look at the cherry bomb.
I don't know. Do you understand the word that is coming out of my mouth?
It's working though.
All right, now you work, and now you frozen. Now you got the crazy.
That looks good though.
Oh, the hair.
Hated it.
Hate the connection.
I don't know what the fuck is going on, bro. We gotta fix it. But what I was gonna say was, once again, man, we talk about the psychology of just wanting to do better and then starting to see yourself doing better, right? Mm-hmm. So again, like I would say, like, don't be so hard on yourself because, like,
facts,
like success is one of the biggest drugs out there. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Success.
It is.
Being able to provide. We're not talking about an actual drug. We're just talking about the feeling of I made it and I don't have to, fight and scrap and claw for food. And you know what I'm saying? And I can provide for my family. That shit will intoxicate you way more than any alcoholic beverage, any more than way more. You know what I'm saying? So again, and I don't know if you do this with yourself, because I know we're hard on ourselves a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I would hope that you give yourself a little bit more leeway and a little bit more understanding, like self-understanding, right? And say, like, I know what I did was wrong, right? But again, like, in the circumstances that I did this shit in, it was right for the moment, and it helped alleviate things in the moment. And let me say this to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
know it sounds kind of crazy, but a lot of times, often in our community, right, it takes us to really go through some shit to really become our true selves, for us to really turn.
Yeah.
It really, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It really takes for us to really go through some shit and really, get knocked on our ass and, get some bumps and bruises and scrapes for us to really turn the corner and develop the fortitude to be like, now I understand.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Y'all pardon now. He pardoned now. That boy pardoned. If he wasn't frozen, nigga, that's going viral.
You
I'm frozen again? No way.
You're absolutely correct. And one of the things too is that why I hone so much on that too is because like I speak to, I go around speaking at different schools and I talk to the youth, and actually I go to the Department of Youth Services where you have young women that are locked up right now. One young lady, she's in there for a murder, only, got in there at 15 years old. So when I talk about me, right, I want them to have the understanding. I don't want anyone to think of excuses, right? I don't want to think of excuses. What I want you to think of is circumstances that cause us to make certain decisions based upon, like you're saying, psychological and systematic pressures that we have surrounding us, right?
Yeah.
But one thing that we always got to let kids know is that you do have a choice, though. No matter what it is, you do have a choice. And there's too much information out here nowadays. You have far more reach nowadays. You see far more than we seen 10 years ago, 15 years ago in the world today, that there's more than just what's surrounding you. Everybody knows this. It's about, how do I get there?
Message.
Yeah.
That's the $1 million question, sis, in our hood. And this is why we try to create stuff like this so we can, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, how the hell do you get there? How do you go somewhere you've never been? How do you reach heights and dream and say you could be what you've never been if I never seen nobody actually fucking accomplish it?
Exactly. So I want to be always as real as possible. This is reality, It's not a car. Not just like these, TikTok commercials, or it's not a movie, it's not a TV show, it's not none of that. When you die, you die. There's no coming back from death, right? When you go to jail, you can't just say, oh, I'm tired of being here today, I'm ready to go, I learned my lesson. No, you got 15 more years to go, right? So at the end of the day, we have to be real about it from all aspects, from every aspect. And I want to always make sure that when I'm speaking to anybody, like, it was, I could laugh about it now, but I'm just happy to be alive. And one of the things you said, that just being able to take care of bills, breathe, live, do all that stuff, the feeling of real freedom. I mean, like, not worrying about nothing, not worrying about the police on your head, not worrying about not having enough, not worrying about being stuck nowhere. Like, that's a freedom that I don't know many people in my surroundings that actually know what that really means. It's not like when you just get out, because when you get out, you don't have nothing, right?
Yeah.
That's not really that's not even being free. You're just out.
Out. And
you're
back to square one.
Being free is being able to get up and go where you want to go, do what you want to do, having the ability to be able to do that. That's real freedom. And that's what all of us are seeking, real freedom.
Message.
That's a fact, man.
Yeah, you nailed that, sis.
Yeah,
but I would love to know, like, I know because we had it up on time, sis, but I definitely want to talk about what you're doing right now with reform, but I also want to talk about your experience in prison, right? Could you just walk us through, like what are some experiences that you had in prison? What are some things that you wouldn't mind sharing? Like, because like I said, you was regular, sis, you was working, you was doing this, and then you had to experience a life-changing moment. So what was that moment for you, and how did you get through the year and a day?
I don't even know. It was all God. I'm telling you, for real. Like when I went to the feds in 2014, I went to the feds, right? And I was a self-surrender. So that means that when you're self-surrender, you can find your way to wherever your destination is, right?
Yeah.
So they had given me the destination of Lexington, Kentucky. And I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. So they allowed me to, first of all, I was sentenced in October of 2013. They allowed me to handle my affairs and everything. So I was scheduled to leave on January 16th, my son's birthday.
Wow.
To go to prison, right? My oldest son's birthday. And make it to Lexington, Kentucky on my own. Because they just knew I was going to show up, right?
Wow.
They just knew I would get there, right? So I remember the day, that morning when it was time for me to go get on this bus. I got on the Greyhound bus. I didn't want to take a flight, right? I got a Greyhound bus ticket. It was going to take me, I think, 21 hours on the bus to get there. They had a time. I had to be there by a certain time, right? And I couldn't be within 15 minutes late of that time. Wow. So I got on the bus, while I was on that bus ride, before I got on that bus, my sister and my two sons drove me to the bus station. And, I just squeezed everybody as tight as I could. I know I wasn't going to see them for the time I was going to be gone. And I got on the bus and I was just looking at them through the window. And it's like, I could just see everybody was just frozen there. I'm frozen staring at them. They standing there frozen. They didn't even get back in the car right away. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like this crazy, nasty feeling. Like I was scared of what would happen to my sons when I took this direction on this bus. But so, I got on that bus. I was riding on the bus, took my hair, you can't have no weave in your hair. I had to take my braids out, pop my nails off, do all of that, and just have time to think and prepare myself into this place. Like I didn't know what I was going to expect there. I just prayed the whole time on my way. I was scared. I was scared, honestly. Wow. I was scared. My favorite show is Law and Order and all those shows. I see what happens, what's going on. I don't know what I'm going to face when I get over here, right?
That's
so,
right.
The bus, when we finally got there, I get off the bus. I call a cab because it's about 15 minutes from the Walmart. That's where it goes out there, right? So it starts snowstorming when I get off the bus. Call the cab. The cab comes. I get in the cab. He starts sliding down the hill. Hits another car. Bam!
Can't make that shit up.
He hit it so high. I flew like boom, right? And he's like, oh, I gotta call it. I said, no, please. I said, I can't. I don't know. I'm not hurt, nothing. I gotta go because I can't be late.
Wow.
I can't call and say, oh, I got into a car accident down the street. I'm not doing that. So another cab comes, brings me there. And when I got there, there was this lady, little white lady, old white lady. Her and her husband was in a Benz. She had all these Louis Vuitton suitcases.
What?
And she's thinking she could bring this in here with her.
Oh no, she thought she was like, man.
She was going
hold on. Ayana, one question. I gotta interrupt you. When you seen that and you knew she couldn't bring it, was this your first response?
What the is wrong with this guy? Am I kidding me or what?
Absolutely.
I laughed.
Show is you watching.
How could you not laugh?
That's crazy.
That's wild.
How could you not laugh? But she, first of all, I don't even know why she was going here. Like, why are they wasting money for someone to go here for 30 days? She could have did probation or something for 30 days.
Facts.
Right? So this is why I say this is all about the system makes money. This 30 days, you really needed this lady to come here for 30 days? It made no sense. She's an older lady. Her and her husband were old. Like, they probably should have had a PCA or something, like help. And she had her back. He took her luggage out and they had him piled up at the door. And when he opened the door, when they opened the door, they was like, ma'am, you can't bring this in. And she said, what am I gonna wear?
Oh my goodness. That's real.
It's hilarious to me, right? But imagine never being in that situation. She's probably like in her 60s, right? She probably was older than that. She was an elderly lady, honestly, right? And you come here. It was a camp. I was in camp, so it was just a big open wide facility. You open the door. The thing that was scary to me is there's no locks on these. People don't lock the doors around here. Somebody could be looking for somebody that snitched on them. I got to figure out where my hiding spaces is in case anybody comes in here. The men's prison was next door, but that was it was a medium, I think, next door. I think it was a medium facility. So they had the wire fences and everything, but the women, like, they were driving cars around the compound, inmates driving cars. They run the compound. There's very little COs around here, right?
Hold on, that was the spot Martha Stewart went to.
No. Martha Stewart and all those girls was in Connecticut.
I'm about to say.
Like, Martha Stewart, that's the Martha sound like a Martha Stewart.
Give me the car in Kentucky. I'll drive past to Kansas.
That's a fact. You Kentucky niggas really going to get Kentucky Fried Chicken? I'm gonna go ahead and be back. We're gonna go get some authentic Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Kentucky was crazy. The girls that live out there, it's nothing but farms and meth labs, and Kentucky was something else. Wow. It was. They used to, the doors wasn't locked. There was a gym in the basement. I used to just work out and go to church. And in the basement, there was a back door that stayed open. So people that lived close by, they would have people, bringing them packages. And they would walk right into the gym. The dudes just walk in with packages. And I would be scared as hell. Like, what if they try to kill somebody in here? Like, I would just be terrified.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
You know what's the hardest thing now? I would think mentally, sis, is knowing that you have a date on it.
Yeah.
Like that October or whatever, all the way to your daytime. It's like, yeah, motherfucking food. Nigga, that week leading up to it, the food, everything tasted great. Everything's like this. You're like, shit, you're mentally, you know what I'm saying, making sure your affairs in order. Your affairs can never be in order the way you want it to be. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like dealing with that, sis. And I'm thinking about, as you tell the story, what's one thing in your experience in jail and prison, what's one thing that you would change? What's the one thing, or what's one thing, you know what I mean, what's one piece
outside of going at all?
To hell yeah, we don't want to motherfucking
when I
got Louis
at the camp, the only thing, like, honestly, the medical care is an issue. There was the things that I've seen. It's not, medical care there is not a priority. So, women have all sorts of different issues that could come across, right? So I experienced 4 young ladies that were there that were young, in their 20s. And I just remember first there was like 2 people came back from the hospital talking about they had a hysterectomy. I was like, a hysterectomy? You don't get a hysterectomy at this age in your life. You know what I mean? Right. Like, they say they had no other pre-existing conditions. There was nothing ever wrong before they got over there. And then there was another girl that came back, and I knew her, so I was asking her questions like, why did you agree for them to do something like that to you here? Why was that even an option? So it's like, instead of them actually treating you for whatever they could treat you for, that was like the solution, to chop you up.
Oh,
and
shit.
Yeah, so there was four young girls. They were young. One young lady was saying that she just couldn't stop bleeding. She was hemorrhaging, and they took her over to the hospital after however many days of her hemorrhaging and complaining about this issue. And when she did come back like a week later, she had a hysterectomy. And it's like, that can't be. Is that the only thing they do is hysterectomy? Like, so from there I was like, I don't care what's wrong with me. I'm never going to say nothing's wrong. I'm not going, I'm not doing that. But, when you don't have people to advocate for you, when you don't have anyone listening to you, when you don't have the right voice or know what's going on, and you just have to, if you feel you just have to accept whatever someone gives you, that's what's going to happen to you.
And that's the message. Is the information, knowing that shit. Like, how many of those stories, sis, you saw that? How many, now multiply that across every jail across America, across every scenario, every situation. It's like, what the fuck? And they have zero voice.
When you hear people talking about,
yeah, bro.
I'm just saying, it's just cost effectiveness. It's a business.
It's a business.
It's a business, right? Look at what they eat. Look at what they eat. Look at the jail cells. It is the bare minimum. That's all I want to say. It's the bare minimum, right? It's cost. It's profit over cost. Operating procedure. That's it. That's all it is. What? When do you think they're gonna bring? You think they're gonna bring in Harvard or fucking Yale doctors or Columbia-based? That fuck no. They're gonna bring in regular doctors. They're gonna diagnose you the best they can. And you guess what? Take it or leave it. Because if you don't want, you know what you can say, right? Because when you get locked up, anybody that don't know, before you even go to prison. How about this? Before you even go to prison, here's a little bit of information. when you get locked up and you go to anywhere with what's called central bookings or the tombs or anywhere where they centrally house you before you get arraigned, the very first thing they do is the doctor examines you, or they say, do you want to be? You can turn down medical treatment right then and there. You can fucking have pneumonia or whatever the fuck going on, and there's a doctor or whatever the fuck EMT there or whatever the fuck they are, and they be like, are you sick? And if you say no, they go, next. You could be coughing up blood and shit. They be like, oh, he said he ain't sick. Next. So again, like, just understand that that's the system. That's the system. And they're gonna say, you know what? If you didn't like it, you shouldn't have did nothing to get in trouble. That's always gonna be their answer to why they.
I ain't gonna hold you. I feel like I could survive from the top. You know what would kill me in jail? Motherfucking food.
Yeah,
the food would kill me. I'm not eating the fucking bologna sandwiches. I go to bookings. I come out looking like Castaway.
No, it's not the food. It's the isolation.
But remember
I think it's
back
food.
then when I was there, it was the time that Michelle Obama was doing the healthy food in prison thing.
Oh yeah,
so they were feeding. So he was having tofu.
Right. Oh no.
Yeah.
Motherfucking tofu is nasty free, nigga.
Yeah.
Hated it.
I do.
I ain't fucking with no tofu. I go right up to the lunch staff and be like,
oh, we don't play that.
Put that fucking guap on my fucking plate.
And food is punishment. You know, that's you know, how could food be contraband?
Yeah.
See, but that, you know, I'm gonna bring you in. We're gonna talk about this off camera, sis.
Yeah.
But I got an idea, right? Prison cuisine. I want to do a little pop-up shop. I'm dead ass serious. I had the best motherfucking food I made in my life from my cousin was a chef up north.
We can't keep talking about it. You know how many people listening to this shit? We don't fuck around, put that shit in the go, man. Snatch the idea.
I don't give a fuck, son. And then you seen it first, and we're gonna do our own. They could do a podcast, but they can't do it like us.
We don't want to give away all the motherfuckers.
So, but they can't do it like us. Bro, I don't.
They can't do like you. Once it's yours, nobody can duplicate it.
That's it. There's a dime a dozen. Like I had some fucking pork chops with Cheetos.
Yeah.
This motherfucker brought some nigga coated the shit without breadcrumbs. Nigga threw some Cheetos on this motherfucker. Nigga like this.
It's crazy.
I'm doing this, sis. I'm gonna bring you in on this. You're gonna be an early investor. We're gonna bring our shit. Yo, you want to see how food tastes? Some cuisine shit that tastes good. It's called a 23-in-1 out this motherfucker.
I didn't eat that stuff. I didn't do the chefing up in there. I wasn't trying to get them people my money.
Yeah.
I
ain't do.
You know, what I do want to say also is people don't understand that when one person goes to jail, it affects your whole entire family, your immediate family, right?
Yeah.
People think that, oh, one person went to jail, you know, the family's okay, whatever the case may be. That's not true, because depending on your role as a provider or whoever you are to the family, when you take yourself out of that role, there's a void to be filled. That's number one. And then number two, emotional duress. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, when we used to go visit my pops up in jail and all that, you know, when they say like he doing the bid, we all doing the fucking bid, because however long he there, we on that bus 8 hours a day through the snow, like you said, on the phone. You know, you look forward to getting those. You know, when you get a prison letter, right? You get them letters, you see the handwriting, it's like 5 different lines. It's who fucking address is this fucking off? It's added. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, again, like psychologically, right? How does that play on your family? Even if somebody else didn't go to prison or jail at that time, knowing that their loved one is there, listening to the stories that you're writing home about, going to see you and seeing real time what that does, it affects people. And then, like you said, now look, now your son, unfortunately, is in that position. And once again, the cycle repeats. So guess what? You've been out of prison for 10 years, but if your son does a bid, you're going to do that bid with yourself.
I'm doing it. I'm absolutely doing that same thing. I'm doing the same thing with him. And, you know, like one of the things that I teach in with my nonprofit organization is called A Year and a Day Foundation. Yeah. And it's for the justice impacted. We all are, because like you said, one person goes, we're all there with them, the whole family. So, you know, whether it's you're getting less now or you got to double compensate because, you know, one of the contributors to the household is gone, you know what I mean? There's a lot of catching up to do. Then some, you know, it just turns into a whole, you know, it's a family. You know, it's a family. The family is going. When it's time to go to court, when it's time to send money up, it's a family thing.
That's real shit.
Yeah, man.
I would love to know how we, You know, we could talk offline too, sis. We want to know. I definitely want to know how we could help you on that. You know what I'm saying? People that are part of the foundation. Like, now, seriously, like, these stories need to get out, right? But what if somebody doesn't know how to tell their story in a way to get that engagement or something like that? Like, these stories need to be told.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big supporter of anyone that's trying to do anything that makes their lives better and to support and to give back to anyone else, because we need it. The best people to help us is the people that are us, you know. No one else can do what we can do because we know it firsthand. So we don't need any doctor we don't need you to go to school and learn about it. We need you to have been in the trenches with it. So right now you have a lot of nonprofit organizations and, you know, a lot of for-profit organizations that are run by, you know, formerly incarcerated persons. And that's because they know how this should go. They know what's needed when you're inside and when you come home for you to be successful and not have recidivism turn into a large number, you know. So it's very important that it's told and run by the people who know how best fit to run it. And like me, I have a partner with Google. I partner with Google on Grow with Google, so that I have access for justice impacted folks that, you know, sign up with my website or register through me. They can go on and learn different digital skills and certificates to, you know, learn a new skill when they come home. Some people come home from 20 years, 25 years. They don't know what the internet is. They don't know how to do an email. Like there's from anything from a basic digital skills to, you know, a certificate level of something else. I'm working right now on I'm working on dates where I'm going to have them in person so that, you know, you can have people with you. You can do it self-paced, but for me, I feel like if you had a group of people with you, you'll get through it much faster because you have a team with you. You know, some people could do it on their own, but you could do it together too. I also have a program that is from Google just as well that teaches kids how to, it's geared towards kids, right? It teaches them how to make beats using Google products. So that's the thing that I'm going to be putting out there. So I'm reaching in and I'm giving back and I'm trying to not even just give back, but just give. You know, it's not like, what do I owe people, right? What do I owe people? You owe yourself. You know,
you owe yourself.
You owe yourself. I owe my sons. When people say, "Oh, well, did you feel bad?" I really had a problem with people saying victims. Like, who did I hurt? You know what I mean? But the victims to me are my kids, and I see that right now from my son being in the situation that he's in right now. You know, those are my victims. That's who I feel that I failed, you know. And so I know that another mother who's been the same route that I have, I know she feels she's failed her kids too. So let me see what I can give of me or from my resources to give her to be able to give to them. The father, you know, it's real hard on the guys, you know. They get more stuff, you know. They get more stuff, but again, the position that a male role plays is the head of the household. So he would have more because he has more that he needs to give out, right?
Absolutely.
Same for women. Women are heads of households too, unfortunately, right? So we have to make sure that we're supporting our community and whatever formation that is. We have to make sure that we're doing that because nobody's going to save us. Nobody's going to keep it together. Nobody's going to make it better for us but us.
That's it, yo. Nobody coming to save us, yo. Woo, you spitting.
You know, I gotta believe, I gotta be like a pressure relief valve for you because I hear what you're saying. And like I said, because we've been through this, I feel it, but I'm gonna keep it. I gotta keep it all the way 100.
I love you doing this for me.
No, because I lived it. I'm telling you, like I lived it. You understand what I'm saying? Like I'm just keeping it real. Like you could have done everything right, and your son could have ended up in prison. Because you know what, guys, human beings, period. But boys are fucking knuckleheads. And like I said, sometimes I'm just being honest. Like I was a fucking terror, yeah. And I'm not gonna hold you. Like I was the Tasmanian devil of the
Message.
I'm just being real with you. It wasn't that I wasn't like intelligent. It wasn't that I was slow. I had a mental disorder. I just wanted to do what the fuck I wanted to do. Like, you know, it took me a very long time, I guess, mentally for me to develop that grasp of like, this is wrong and you shouldn't do it. It was just more like impulse. I think it's more like impulsing. Like I feel it feels good. Fuck it.
But do you feel like that was also survival skills? Do you think that, because some people live, off of survival skills, they just trying to survive. Right?
No, absolutely. No, absolutely. My basis, and Jared will tell you, where we grew up at, it was definitely like kill or be killed. It was definitely the jungle. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying in general, right?
Yeah.
I think, and we're parents so now I get to look at it through a different lens because I have children, right?
Yeah.
So now I look at it through a different lens, right? So now me and Jared, like Jared's son, Jared's oldest is 15, my youngest is 15, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our sons is around the same. My oldest is 22, but now I can look at them and we look at them like, motherfucker, what you doing that stupid shit for? You ain't even living in that. Now, you know what I mean? You ain't even got to do that. You ain't even living in that situation. You don't even know what that's about. So now you just doing that shit because you're dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Big old dummy.
but honestly, right?
True.
Don't take this the wrong way. Like moms, and I hear this from a young black man, right? Moms coddle their fucking boys too fucking long.
Yeah.
Y'all coddle men too long. You don't let men kind of grow up and understand responsibility at a young age so that they can develop that responsibility mentality. You wait too fucking long. So by the time you want us to be responsible, we still acting like fucking knuckleheads because you've been coddling us so long. Now when you want us to be ready, now we're not ready. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying, right? Your son, with the tutelage that you gave him the best that you could, right? The best that you could with what you were given. But at some point in time, you've got to hold him responsible for the decisions right? Every time I got in trouble, I get in trouble by myself. Even when I'm with somebody else, I'm by myself because I never put what I did on somebody else. You understand? Like me, I'm 10 toes down. If I did it, you caught me, then you don't ask me no questions. You got me, you know everything then. You know what I mean? Like, because I took responsibility for the things that I did, but I think you need to just allow people to be like, yo, you old enough to know right from wrong. You old enough to know the decisions that you're making and just understand that you just want to bump your head a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it just takes, everybody's path cannot be the same.
It's not, absolutely.
Fact though.
Just can't be the same. Everybody's not going to go to school, get straight A's, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to, some people going to slip, some people going to fall, some people going to slide face first. Everybody's process is different, and I think that we have to just start putting, start giving accountability to more people at a younger age to say, if you know this and you know that, then you know what you're doing over here too. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's one thing I give you credit. You stutter. He's like, no, he's standing on what he's standing on. So I definitely respect that. So
yeah, because
but as a parent, you're always gonna feel like, most parents, especially moms, right? With the nurturer. So we're always gonna feel like it's so funny because, I didn't grow up with my dad in the house, right? And so when you don't grow up with your dad in the house and then there's a dad in the house and you like dad's a structure and discipline, like, right? It's so weird to me. It's so weird to me, but I know how necessary it is. Yeah. But when you didn't grow up like that, it's like, oh man, that's just mean, they just be mean. But I get it. I saw some video that went viral today of a dad disciplining and giving his son structure. And the mother's like, no, just have him come on home because you too mean over there. That's why nobody like you over there. And it's like, it's not about being liked. These are the things that go along with raising a child, and they need nurturing, they need love, but they also need structure and discipline. And it is very natural. Really. Yeah.
No,
I'll keep it all the way real. Good ass whooping and saved my life many a night. A good ass whooping made me get out the car like Trey on these niggas. I'm telling you.
Ayana, it has to be, life is about balance. And I'm not talking about 50-50, but I'm talking about the understanding of consequences to every action that you do. I tell my children, and Jared to tell you this right now, I tell my children this, I don't give a fuck. I'm daddy first and I'm friend second. Absolutely. I'm daddy first and I'm friends. I'm not trying to be your motherfucking friend. You got friends out there to be your friend. I'm your parent. My job is to give you foundation and structure and discipline and understanding of what you're gonna face when you're a grown man. You don't have to like me, you're gonna respect me. And then when you get older, you will have these teachings and these morals to fall back on, and those might save your life. Because I'm being honest with you, if it wasn't for people like Jared's uncle and Jared's father and them to give me that hard discipline and something, of course you don't want to hear it, you know what I'm saying, when they sitting you down and you can't play and shit. But guess what? when you sitting in that cell or you sitting by yourself in a place you don't want to be and you thinking, and that's that solitude, that's the shit that you hold on to. And that's the shit that you can reel yourself back in and help build the foundation on. I'm telling you what it is. You muted, Jared. You on mute.
I said that deserved the baby message one. That was my dad. You know what I'm saying? I know we ran up on time too, sis.
Yeah.
Do you still have some time? Because like it's up to you, sis. Because I want to bring you back on. This is your platform.
Can we do 5 more minutes?
Let's do 5. So listen, what's one message that you want to give? So this is 5 minutes. Take the platform, talk to the audience, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Ayana Bean show at this point. Take the platform, talk to the audience, and spread the message that you want the audience to know and understand from you right now.
What I want everyone to understand for me is that everything is love and respect. Everything is. And, the first form of love that you have to really get in tune with is yourself. You have to learn to do that before you give it away to anybody, right? Because if you don't know how to do it for yourself, then how do you know how to do the action of love to give to anybody else? And I think for me, I didn't know how to, and probably I even struggle with that even now. Like I really never learned how to really do that. I always was a person who puts others and, before myself. So I'm just starting to kind of learn about myself, right? And when you're young, everything is intensified. It's intensified. Like everything is just 100 on 100. And you got to give yourself some time to even understand what that is. And I just really talking to the kids these days. There's so much more pressure on them than there was for me back in my time, because they see so much and they're like pressure to you're not it if you don't have that. You got to have this. You got to have all these things that, boy, that stuff comes so much later in life. Like you can't afford those things. You can't obtain those things by doing anything legit. And so it puts more pressure on them to go out here and do something crazy. You got, every time you hear girls talking, it's like, oh, this is what I got for a nigga to pay for. Like, that's prostitution, right? Like
Message.
that's what it is. There's so many things that you could do to educate yourself, to gain knowledge of yourself so that you can put yourself wherever it is that you want to be. And everyone can do that the right way without having a pain to their life, but you got to take those bumps on the head. You want to learn those hard lessons, which is fine. But just know, like we just talked about, it comes with consequences when you don't do it the right way. So my whole point is that I hope that anyone that does take a look at my story knows that, yes, I made horrible decisions. I struggled. I didn't do everything that was right. I had good intentions, but it didn't work out that way. But today is 2024. I've been home 10 years.
Told you get a horn every time I hear that shit.
You get the fist pump.
I've been home 10 years. I have 2 grandkids. I have 2 adult sons. I have a fiance that, gives me all the love in the world. I have great friends and family. My family is, everything to me. And I just can't, these days, I can't fail. So there was a time I thought it was nothing but darkness and I was going to be in darkness forever and I was never going to come out. But all I see is light. You know what I mean? All I see is light. I went through that. You don't have to go through that. I went through it. I know where you're at. Meet people where they're at sometimes too. You got to, right? You can't expect. You can't. I can't expect you to be over here when you're really right here. And then don't lie about where you're at. Be honest about where you're at. That's another important thing. Like, you can't get the Gucci bag. You can't get it. Not today. Right? You don't even probably need that today. What you need is to have some understanding in life and some skills that will make sure that you're able to do something like that when you can. It's no rush for none of this stuff. Everything is going to be right where it's at. People, talk to somebody who been in there 10, 15, 20 years and came home. Where's their friends at? Where's the street at? They just still right there. Nothing's changed. Nothing changed. Everybody's still right there. You don't have to rush nowhere to do nothing. Take your time with life. And I rushed through a lot of things. I became a mom at 17 the first time, right? I became a mom at 17. And another thing that I don't talk about, like my oldest son's father was murdered before I even know I was pregnant.
Wow.
So there's a lot of traumas there. And my son just found this out a few years ago. Like me and my partner from high school, we raised him as our son, you know. So that was something that he didn't know. So like I said, my story's crazy. I didn't put it all out there on BT.
Wait, God damn, no, we coming. First of all, we're gonna celebrate you next month for Women's History Month. We're gonna bring Ayana Bean back for part 2 because this shit was real.
Yeah, I just gotta say it again. You know, I salute you, Queen, because you know, look at just what you said, man. First of all, this interview, you just empowered nothing but strength and fortitude and fortitude. You know what I mean? Mental, emotionally. You know, I just, you know, I gotta celebrate you for that, because that, you know, just listening to your story again, a lesser person would have broke any one of those steps that you were taking, and at any time could have failed and broken, just given up, given up. So, you know, I just want to salute you for that and say that, you know, it is a reason. Unfortunately, I believe everything happens for a reason. I think we are a product of not only the good, but the bad things that we go through in life, because life is learned intelligence from experience, right? We are who we are in this moment based on what we've been through in the past, right? So to become the version of you that you are today, that now you're helping so many people, and now you can be this icon in a sense for the culture. You unfortunately you had to get a little couple bumps and bruises, but niggas get bumps every day, B. You be all right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. But you know, we appreciate you. Let the people know where they can find you at. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get a lot of followers behind this, man. This is crazy.
Well, you can slide in my DMs like y'all did.
No,
Pause.
Nah, ain't a pause.
Pause.
Shooters gotta shoot, B. Shooters gotta shoot.
I mean, that's true. I'm not doing no slide, no DMs. I'm afraid of rejection.
No, but I'm always active on like my Instagram. Right. So if anyone wants to reach out to me, they can reach out to me through there. I always mostly try to respond back to everyone, even if it's just to say hello or whatever. My email is posted up on my social media as well. I have my website link is up there. So if you go to my Instagram is ms.yanabean, and that's on all social media platforms. So you can follow what I'm doing there and reach out to me through any of those platforms. Also, my nonprofit organization, A Year in a Day Foundation, you can check me out on there, which is at A Year in a Day Foundation. And then the website is ayearinadayfoundation.org. And I'm all over the social media streets, you know, doing my thing. I'm still building and learning and trying to make it happen. And that's what's always going to happen. As long as I'm alive, I'm going to keep on trying. And I learned not that Jay-Z said anything that nobody else has said or nobody else is doing the other day, but the platform in which he spoke to us on was important for him to speak from that platform say it to us in the tone that he said it to us, because it is very important that no matter what, you continue to show up. You can fall, you can get the bumps and you get the bruises, but keep on getting up, stand up, dust yourself off, and show up, because there's a lot of people that are behind you and that were before you that never stood back up because they didn't get a chance. And so
it was such a bar. It froze me. You froze me up in the motherfucker.
It's true. A lot of people don't make it home. If they don't make it home, like you talk about, I only got 6 months sentence or whatever sentence. You could go in there one day, an hour or two, and you won't return. So it's very important that people don't assume that small numbers equate to anything easy. It's not.
You know what's the real we heard on this show too, Queen? The ways of this, we had Shannon Holmes on the show.
Oh, yeah.
He already know. Be more careful.
I met him. Yeah, I met him.
That's the bro. He came. He said, "Yo, I was going home." He said, "The realest line I ever heard was never go home again." He was like, "Yeah, I'm about to go home." He's like, "No, come home. This buildings is not there.
Yeah,
chicks are pregnant that weren't there. The stores is not there." So he said, regardless of how long, you could never go home again because the place you leave is not going to be the same when you return. That was one of the realest bars I've heard on this show.
That's true. He's a good guy. I met him in Detroit at the book fair.
That's the bro. We got to get y'all together, Champ. I want to get you in touch with Champ.
Oh yeah,
the bro. You already know.
Yeah, Champ was up in Boston with me.
Oh yeah, he was. Word.
Yeah, Champ came. He came and spoke at my for year. Yeah, he came up here for the Year in the Day Foundation workshop I was doing called Beyond the Bars. Yeah, that's my guy.
Bro. That's the bro.
Yeah,
you know that.
I want to say, but you know, Boston ain't too friendly anyway. You
come up here with me, everybody friendly.
Nah, they don't do Red Sox. We don't do Red Sox. I'm coming up there with the Yankee blue one. You ain't know.
No, you ain't. No, you ain't.
I want to go to OP. Take me to fucking. I want to go with New Edition was.
We can do that.
Please.
I just want me and Jerry gonna come up there like in what's that movie? Old Town. Old Town.
You talking about Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck and
You're talking about when they was robbing the bank. You want to go to?
That's a fact.
You want to go to Charlestown?
I ain't trying to go nowhere. This nigga talking like that. They watching this show.
You're talking about the town. It's not Old
Town. Yeah, I said Old Town. The town.
The
town.
Let's
go
good.
You want to go to South Boston?
But before we go to sis, just want to tell you once again, thank you for sharing your story, sis. Thank you for coming on our platform. Like the fact that of how you change your life around, your mindset. Your mindset is the most impressive thing that I think throughout this whole interview, the way you've triumphed, the way you've come back. I've known people that go to jail, come back, and their mind is gone. Yeah. And you're able to help others. You're able to give back and be so real with us, like the things with your son. Like, so one, I want to tell you, we praying for you. You got brothers here in New York. If you need anything, like I put the number in the private chat, put yours, sis. We're going to start the group chat. You in New York, we're going to go get something to eat. We're going to chill, but we could build. Okay.
I'll be out there in a few weeks, actually.
No. Yeah, we know we always every guest that we've had on the show, we created a 3-way group chat with us and the guests. Okay. So that we can, further the relationship, because this is only the first of our conversations. And we would absolutely love to help and be involved in any way with your nonprofit organization, because we believe in trying to connect the dots, possibly helping you get some funding or helping you get with people that can, help further this thing, because without education, then we have nothing out here.
I appreciate that, my brothers. Thank you.
Much.
I have a lot of brothers in New York.
You come to New York. We're gonna have a good time. You come to New York. I'm telling you.
I'll get in about 2 weeks.
Well, I'll be here in 2 weeks. I ain't going nowhere. I'll let you know.
I'm gonna definitely call y'all.
Okay. Please do, sis. And thanks again, man. And for everybody on the check-ins, a lot of people on the check-in on the comments and saying they love this story. Thank you for tuning in again. Make sure you reach out to Ayana. Is there anything you can do to help support the foundation? Make sure you get the book. Make sure you support this queen, man. We don't support each other. No one else will. No one's coming to save us, y'all. So we got to do this for us. Straight up.
And remember, this show is about positivity. We ain't on no clickbait shit. So if you reach out to her, I'm telling you right now, be on your best behavior, right? You understand? None of that fucking trolling shit. We're not about that. No, we serious. Serious. Like we not trolling shit. You understand what I'm saying? And none of that ignorant shit, because we will put you on blast. And in the same way you try to embarrass her, we will embarrass your ass on this platform and more. So go with some respect. She's a positive Black woman raising a family, and she's trying to do better and help us all do better as a culture. So approach her appropriately.
Message.
Big
respect.
Thank you.
Big queen. Let's go. And we out of here. With that being said, y'all, this week we also got William Benson, CEO of Billionaires Row, coming through. We got Jason White coming through next week. We got Jay Alexander, the founder of FUBU, coming through on the 20th, y'all.
For us, by us.
Come on. What we doing? We doing this from the couch in the Bronx. What we doing, y'all?
Out of storage.
You know what I'm saying? About to dust off the FUBU. I'm about to have the one pants leg up like L, nigga.
And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, like Jared said to y'all, and believe these numbers are absolutely insane. What we did last month, just to give y'all some context before we get out of here, what we did last month, just last month alone, outshadowed almost 2 months of views in just 1 month. That is how fast we are growing and glowing, thanks to the viewership and the support from everybody on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We thank y'all. We're appreciative. Go buy a hoodie.
Go buy a mother. Oh, hold on, wait. Before we go, Ayana, you know we gotta pay.
We gotta pay some bills. We'll be right back.
Yo, make sure you get your QR code. It's right there. So easy. I made it easy for y'all. Come on, B. If you scan this motherfucker, you won't get a discount. I promise you. But if you start buying more, we might be able to provide some discount. That's on the rail.
If you talk to us nicely, we might make you some custom shit. You know what I mean?
For a premium, but that's it. Nah, I love Ayana. We appreciate y'all. And thanks for another episode of More Than the Title. Y'all, we out of here.
Thank you.
What you know about me? Seen it all, heard it all. Oh, what you know about me? I done it all, just one.